Very good evening to you. Thank you for joining us. It's another wonderful Wednesday. And of course, the week is fast spent. It's Wednesday, August 17, the year of our Lord 2022. We're so excited to have you. Knowing that you're alive, if it's your birthday, happy birthday to you. A very big cake will locate you somewhere. I don't know how it's going to happen, but just believe it. On the show tonight, we'll be taking you on to some of the newspaper headlines making the rounds on the show. And of course, in the faraway Imo State, Fidel Onyeneke is standing by to give us a breakdown of some of the analysis. And then in Anambra State, we also bring you all of the report talking about the Anambra Fashion Expo, where Mazi Ejomofor, the head of operations of AFE, is standing by to also give us details of all of this happening. But before we tell you about what will be happening in Akwa Ibom State, talking about the gubernatorial race for Akwa Ibom 2023, we're also having here in the studio the Accord Party candidate for the 2023 governorship race. All of these interviews will be right here on the show. My name is Abasi Odu Idiom. Welcome to Nigeria Watch, where we're keeping an eye on the nation, talking politics, people, economy, and governance. Let's go straight to some of the newspapers making the rounds on the National Daily, and we're going to get started in Ogun State, where we have a report. Tinubu visit Obasanjo, APC supporters flood ex-president's residence. That is where we're going to get started now, and hoping this will come up so we can just give you the analysis. Of course, scores of supporters of the All Progressives Congress in Ogun State Wednesday stormed the residence of former President Olusegun Obasanjo in Abeokuta as the presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, the APC, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, visited the former president. Tinubu arrived at the penthouse of the Olusegun Obasanjo Presidential Library, Okemosan, Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital, in his chopper at about 1:30 p.m. in company of some party leaders. He was received by Governor Dapo Abiodun, former Governor Benga Daniel, his predecessor Segun Oshoba, and other Ogun State government functionaries. Let me quickly get to Fidel Onyeneke, who is standing by to give us what will be taking perhaps Mohammed to the mountain or the sun. I don't know how to say it. Good evening, Fidel Onyeneke. Thank you for joining us on Nigeria Watch tonight.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's a pleasure speaking with you.
And you are aware of the APC's presidential candidate Bola Ahmed Tinubu Bat's visit to Obasanjo, the former president. What would you make of this visit?
Thank you very much. That's a wonderful sign of respect for Tinubu to deem it fit to go to Obasanjo. It means that he has respect for elders. That's exactly the implication. And whether we like it or not, as long as we are in this country called Nigeria, Obasanjo cannot be wished off and wished out. So for Tinubu to visit him today simply means that Tinubu appreciates Obasanjo as a leader that must be respected. So I didn't expect anything less. It is a good move, and I commend Tinubu for that.
Well, some of the pictures we've had shows some level of intimacy and some kind of warmth reception from the former president to Tinubu. Do you see any body language reading of the former president perhaps looking like a support for the APC candidate?
No. You see, people should not misconstrue the whole thing. People should also be careful when it comes to politics. That Tinubu visited Obasanjo and Obasanjo received him does not mean that Obasanjo has given him the support. Even if be it Atiku, be it P2B, whenever if they go to Obasanjo will still give them the same and equal quality of reception. So people should not be confused about that. People should not be deceived. But the most important thing is that Tinubu on his part has recognized the fact that they cannot do it without the leaders. And that is why he has gone to Obasanjo. So the crowd that received Tinubu there and the crowd that supported Obasanjo are apparently an indication that Obasanjo still has the command of certain political issues in this country. And that is not to say that he has lent his support for a particular political party.
And one could also say, before we go to the next story, that this level of loyalty should also be seen towards the Southeast. What do you think? We have elders in the Southeast. We have the likes of Engineer Iwanya, who will be turning 80 any moment from now. Apart from a political divide, do you see Tinubu perhaps having a body language that portends that he would like to carry the Southeast along?
I have to say this without any shade of contradiction. If Tinubu has gone to Obasanjo, Tinubu has no reason not to come to people like Iwanya and other political leaders in the Southeast. If he wants to carry everybody along, because he is aspiring to be the president of the entire country and not president of Yoruba, not president of Kufa, not president of even Igbo. For him to get it right, he must come and also identify some major political leaders in Igbo land and visit them, just like he has gone to Obasanjo today. Very, very important. And I believe his advisors are watching. They know the right thing to do. And I want to be convinced that they will definitely do it.
Okay, thank you so much. Let's take the next story. While Fidel is still there, we have a report from the Punch newspaper. This one reads, why Nigeria can't generate additional 5,000 megawatt power, minister says. The federal government on Wednesday said it could not reach its earlier proposed power generation target of 5,000 megawatt due to gas shortage. The Minister of Power, Abubakar Aliyu, disclosed this to State House correspondent shortly after the Federal Executive Council meeting presided over by President Major General Muhammadu Buhari retired at the council chamber of the presidential villa in Abuja. This seems to be somewhat discouraging and perhaps disdainful for a minister to have come out to make this kind of statement. Does it seem like there's no hope for the power sector, Chief Fidel Oyeneke?
Let me get you, Asu.
Do you think we have any hope for the power sector, where the minister had said that Nigerians can't even generate additional 5,000 megawatt as expected in July?
You see, in fairness to this present government, this power sector problem did not start today. And it's unfortunate that all the past administrations never deemed it fit to fix the power sector. So, for what is happening now, it simply means that we have gotten to a worse level. And if a situation where not NEPA, what are they called now? Both the transition companies and then the distribution companies are threatening to go on strike. It means that we've not got the right and that we have failed woefully. It means that we have a problem in getting the power sector right.
Okay, let's move ahead on the show. In case you've just joined us, this is Nigeria Watch. We're taking a look at some of the newspaper headlines, and we are going to the Vanguard newspaper. We have a report that finally Labour Party's Peter Obi meet Afrobeat singer Femi Kuti. That happened earlier in the day, where we brought you a report that to dampen the attack on the legendary Nigerian saxophonist and Afrobeat singer Femi Kuti, presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, has initiated a meeting with Kuti. Recall that Kuti had come under fire for allegedly referring to Obi's supporters, obedient as zombies. Fidel Oyeneke.
From what you are saying, it's like they met with Femi Kuti. That's what they're trying to say. And if Labour Party leaders met with Femi Kuti, it's still another political strategy. You see, no matter what people say, no matter the beliefs of the people, if you really want to make a headway in your political aspiration, you must not see anybody as an enemy, even a perceived might come a long way in balancing tension, even making him on their side, and making him to speak certain positive things about the Labour Party. It's another good move. I have nothing against that.
Thank you so much, Fidel Onyeneke, for your time with us on the show tonight. We appreciate you. Thank you. We're looking forward to seeing you tomorrow, God willing. Have yourself a sweet night.
Yeah, but it's a pleasure. I must say that we must see this political period as a period for us to guide our authorities and do things that will unite the country rather than dividing the country. We must not see political decisions as ways of taking sides. Let us be moderate in whatever we are thinking. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you so much, Fidel Onyeneke. And when we come back from this short break, we shall be going to Anambra State for the Anambra Fashion Expo, where Mazi Jimofor is standing by to give us details of what will be happening on September 16th. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
The pain of war knows no tribe or religion. War engulfs everyone, rich or poor. Homes are destroyed, emptied by the darkness of war. During war, everybody loses, nobody wins. The innocent pays the price of our ego with their blood. They are badly affected by a decision they didn't make. Dialogue is the only way out. We are stronger together. We should never separate. We are one Nigeria. Our oneness, our strength, our beauty.
This message is brought to you by Bright TV, the home of talk and entertainment, channel 102 on TSTV Africa. Say no to war.
When you fall in love with the journey, everything else takes care of itself.
I told them I'ma do it, I saw it in a dream. They say me we no sabi anything. Now I'm living that dream. Now I'm living that dream. Now I'm living that dream. That dream. I said realest in the game. Now they know my name, but they still want to do like say I lame. Cause I'm living that dream. Cause I'm living that dream. Cause I'm living that dream. Welcome to the journey.
Glamour, entertainment, lifestyle. You're onto the journey.
Say welcome to the journey.
HGC.
Enjoy. Thank you and welcome back. The promoters of a flagship fashion exhibition show tagged Anambra Fashion Expo have hinted that the debut all-round fashion event would take place in the 16th of September 2022. According to the convener of the event and CEO of Aora, a leading fashion house based in UK and Nigeria, Ms. Edora Soludo, the Anambra Fashion Expo 2022 is targeted at simulating the Southeast fashion ecosystem through showcasing indigenous brands and opening them to the rest of the world. I'm being joined now on the program by the head of operations, Anambra Fashion Expo, Mazi Jimofor, live from Anambra State. Which part of Anambra are you? Good evening. Okay, I think we've lost him there, but we'll try to put a call across to him back and be sure that he can actually make this happen. Let's see if we can get to him. But before we do that, let's show you some of the footages of what seems to be at the grand opening or the modeling and the auditioning at the just concluded roadwalk and auditioning at the Anambra Fashion Expo. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
The lights are on and the stage is set. Well, this is Anambra Fashion Expo 2022. My name is Ifi Arono Okafo. Today is the D-Day when we get to determine who gets to mount the runway on Anambra Expo 2022 on the D-Day. That's on September 16th, 2022. Here in Awka, the capital city of Anambra State, the light of the nation. Yes, the whole of Nigeria, the whole of Africa will be in Awka, so you know where to be on September the 16th.
Thank you and welcome back. We'll be able to get back to Jumofor. Good evening. Can you give us insight into what the Anambra Fashion Expo is all about in few seconds?
Good evening, Abdul, and thank you for the opportunity to join you on this platform. I thank you so much, and thank you for all you're doing. Thank you, good evening, listeners and viewers. This option is still directly in the opening and the opening first statement that has been issued to the media, you know. It was activating the fashion ecosystem, you know, the Southeast and Anambra in particular. If you come to Anambra, you know, you find a whole lot of talented young person who are doing so much, and it has to do with fashion. And when we talk about fashion right now, I don't just need to clothing things, but in terms of shoemaking, every fashion market, you know, in Anambra. And what we intend to achieve with the AFC is to provide a platform, for these talents to be able to compete globally with global audience, for this platform, for this talent to be showcased to the global audience. And that's exactly what AFC is set to achieve on the 16th of September and going forward. It's going to be a fashion fest for fashion practitioners. Fashion entrepreneurs. And the event itself is a one-day event, you know, as a maiden edition. It's segmented into three. We'll have the edition, and the event will comprise of different fashion entrepreneurs, people who are into different fashion wares, coming to display their wares and, you know, meet with prospective investors, and seller buyers, you know, showcase what they have. Then we have the other point of view, which is the masterclass. The masterclass for us is more of the experience sharing platform opportunity we are providing for our budding fashion enthusiasts and fashion entrepreneurs, where we say that they will leverage the experiences of established fashion entrepreneurs. And we're expecting very respected industry players like Min Nawunju, Chioma Obu Dimpa, the Teach Queen, and also Ozuna Anumudi. So we see that some of the persons that are going to be going to our masterclass to share their experiences with our budding fashion entrepreneurs, people who want to, who look forward to making great impact.
Okay. The question now is in 60 seconds. How are you making this possible for the possibility of getting new talent? We're talking about people at the grassroots to be part without necessarily seeing this as the elitist thing, so they can actually come showcase their little talent and also have a reward for some of the things they're doing. The idea is that one might be looking at it that what is the platform for the upcoming fashion designers and creative artists?
Yeah. Okay, now we have quite a whole lot of plans for these young talent. We have
what you may call touch or can train, mentor, and mentor them. We intend not just to, harness them, but also to push them, to give them a platform where they can also show what they have. And I can tell you for free that AFC is about local content. And we have 70% of our own dedicated to local fashion designers. So what you'll be seeing on that day is going to be strictly made in Anambra, made in the Southeast. You'll be seeing lots of, unique talent coming out of the state, coming out from the region. We're going to still have our flagship brand Aura, stretch our own way, but 70% of the content that is coming out on the Anambra Fashion Expo will be local content.
Thank you so much for your time, Mazi Ejimofor. We look forward to talking more about the prospect for the show going forward, but we want to say a very big thank you for finding time to talk a little more about the Anambra Fashion Expo. Thank you for your time, and express our gratitude to the organizers and the promoters. This is a fashion expo good enough to bring money, if I'm not wrong. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, that is Mazi Ejimofor giving us insight into what will be happening on September 16, talking about the Anambra Fashion Expo. Coming up on the show, the Akwa Ibom 2022 gubernatorial elections. What do you know? Who are the contenders? And what, of course, is the tidbits that we need to learn going forward? We shall be talking with Engineer Kofi. He is an Accord Party candidate for the Akwa Ibom 2023 elections. So stay with us. When we return, all of the interviews will be served to you. Stay with us. Thank you and welcome back from perhaps looks like a short break, but sometimes some breaks can break your back. Thank you for coming back on the show. We appreciate you. This is Nigeria Watch, and we had to get to talk about the leadership in Akwa Ibom State as we are tending towards 2023 general elections. What is the leadership role that will be played? What are the strategic plans towards ensuring that the 2023 general elections will be a win-win for the people and, of course, the incoming government? Today with me is an engineer of no mean repute. He will talk a little more about himself. Engineer Kofi, it's my pleasure to have you on the program, sir. Thank you. Welcome to Nigeria Watch, where we're keeping an eye on the nation. Can you tell us a little about yourself for the benefit of our audience?
My name is Engineer Kofi. I'm from Nsrubiam in Akwa Ibom State, the current in Nsrubiam. We used to be under 18 and local government some years back. I'm the son of Sambo Kofi Kobo, a one-time general manager of ATP, African Timber and Plywood, later Kalamazoo Beam. They are all divisions of UAC. My mom is an Efik woman, but her roots is from Efik and Anang. And so I would say I'm a complete Akwa Ibom man because I have my roots in the Oro Nation, in the Anang Nation, and the Ibibio Nation. I attended my primary school in Saple, then Bendel State, later Zid Grammar School and Electoral Grammar School, and then I ended up in the University of Port Harcourt, where I read had a degree in civil engineering and majored in structural engineering. Since then I've been practicing. I was involved with Terra and Partners when during one of my ITs We did the Akwa Ibom State Hall as well as the government house. TRO is a very renowned consulting firm in Nigeria. And then I proceeded, I worked with Spiba Tignols. It's a French company. We're involved in refinery construction and engineering pipeline. Most of the pipelines that were taking petroleum products from Port Harcourt refinery all the way to Suleja depot, and they were all built by us. I worked there. I have been with, during my formative years, I was also in Julius Berger, I was in Fujura, I was in Dumes. So I got grounded in construction and also in consultancy. And I've done a couple of projects. Right now I manage some construction companies and real estate business.
Let's talk about, you know about the level of civil engineering in Nigeria, and of course we hear about collapsed buildings. Does that give you a concern as a civil engineer?
It does give me a concern. In fact, I even at a point thought about forming a parallel body to Koren, but we decided not to because we found that Koren is doing a good job. I think the problem we have is about quality control, and it hasn't really got to do with the engineers, it's got to do with the system. Let's take an example. If you have a collapsed structure, who are the key players?
Okay.
You have the architects, you have the civil structural engineers, you have the electrical mechanical engineers, you have the quantity surveyors. Now these work as a team. The person that is primarily supposed to take responsibility when you have a collapsed structure is the structural engineer. And the engineer works with materials that are available. You have the coarse aggregate, the fine aggregates, and the steel. Now we already have in our design factor of safety. And the factor of safety goes to reduce the effective strength of the concrete or the steel to just about 0.67, for example, for concrete, of what you are expecting. So you already have you have already made efforts to say, okay, if there are problems that you cannot achieve what you are supposed to achieve in the strength, the worst case scenario, this is what it should be.
The question to the common man is, what happens when these houses collapse, and
who is responsible?
Who is responsible? So because the engineer has gotten his money, he's gotten paid, and at the end of the day, perhaps the resident or the inhabitants of the building gets to suffer the losses, sometimes death.
Most of the time, the problem does not come from the engineer. Okay. Now, we have to classify it here. When you say the engineer, you're talking about an engineer that has passed through all the trainings and is certified, qualified to work by relevant bodies. So you can be a graduate of engineering as long as you have not been certified. You're a quack. Now, the problem is that the certified professionals, people don't like to engage them because they probably don't want to pay a little more. Okay. So they take the younger ones, or those are not even engineers. Like you come to Abuja, everybody that's been in the building construction site supervisor begins to answer engineer. So most of the time, those people are not qualified.
And there's no task force to.
The task force is not effective enough.
It's not effective. Nothing is happening.
The second reason why you may have collapsed structure is the quality of the materials.
Okay, let's go into a little bit of politics. You are a candidate of the Accord Party. These days, it seems to be that political parties do not have ideology, because you cannot differentiate one party A from party B from party C. And you talk about the issues of vote buying. Talking about a court party, what are the founding ideologies of your party, the Accord Party?
What the party stands for is oneness and progress. And that is why I joined the party, is because that party works with my mindset. I will later come to the issue of Utomidong, but let me tell you why the party is the right party to join.
Okay.
In Akwa Ibom in particular, we have had a people that have been so polarized. The party stands for oneness. Let's come together as one.
Are you saying Akwa Ibom people are not united?
No, politically we'll be so polarized. We'll be so polarized. And if it's time to get into that, I'll get into that. But now, take it that what I mean. We're so polarized politically.
Okay.
Yes.
And there's no one to blame for the polarization. So
it's been a gradient. It's been a gradual process.
Okay.
And this is really why we have come into the system. We want to try to see how we can stop that polarization.
What are you bringing to the table?
Yes, if you permit me. My father read political science from University of Lagos. He was the secretary of Student Union Government. He was very active. While Wole Soyinka was shaking University of Ibadan, he was shaking University of Lagos. They had some reasons why they were doing what they were doing. They didn't want to be conformed to certain rules that they felt were not African. Now, when he graduated, as I said, he worked with ATP, USC then. USC was like a class company for the best brains. That's why when we went to pick a president, Babangida had to go all the way to USC to pick Shoneko. But he left politics. Now, he spent most of the time criticizing governments. He was a critic. And after all those years, he never really got involved in active politics, so he couldn't make any change. So I sat and said, if I keep doing what my father did, then what happens? The system continues to deteriorate.
You keep blaming the government.
You keep blaming the government. So why not go and put in your best and see the change you can make? Only one policy can change. Obasanjo just made a change in the GSM. Just include the policy of having a GSM. So, and the whole system has changed.
Yeah, before you talk about the issue of polarization of the polity by politicians, I tried to find out, what are you bringing to the table? What are you bringing anew? What is it that when people look at in Akwa Ibom, they will say, yes, like you're talking about Obasanjo, what is that thing you're looking at?